Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm bringing you my February wrap up. So if you've been with me for a while, then you'll notice that there was no let's get cozy where I make a drink and light a candle and do the things. And the reason for that is I am on day 2 of a 5-day juice cleanse, so I can't make you a cute little coffee drink today. Here's my juice though. This is the sweet greens and it's very healthy. I'll make up for it in the March wrap up, I promise. Very healthy. But I will light a candle for y'all. It's the least I can do. It's still cold as fuck where I live, so we're gonna go with winter from Bath and Body Works. All right, there we go. The mood is set. Okay, so before I get into the books that I did read, I just want to make a note that in my February TBR, I mentioned that if I had time, I would pick up My Sister the Serial Killer. I did not have time, so that will be on an upcoming TBR, maybe, possibly. First book that I read this month was A Dark Queen Rises by Ashoka King Baker. This is the second book in the Burnt Empire saga. So y'all should know by now that I absolutely loved Upon a Burning Throne, gave it 5 stars. I gave this one 4.75 stars, and honestly, my only complaint was there was one character that I really fucking hated, and I didn't like the amount of time that we spent with that character and where that storyline led. At the same time though, I do give the author props because this character is meant to be hated. So they did a very good job writing that character. And there was a little bit of character development, I will say. A little bit, not a ton, but still, it counts for something. So in this, we are following Krushita, who is a character that was introduced in Upon a Burning Throne, but then we don't see her for the rest of that story. So this book is a parallel timeline, so we see everything that's happening with this specific character and in neighboring countries at the same time as all of the events in Upon a Burning Throne. I will be reading the finale to this in March, and I'm super excited to see how all of this wraps up. I think that that book is also going to be a 4.75 or 5 star, so I'm super excited to see how it all ends. The next book that I read was Jade Legacy, the final book in the Greenbone saga, and I ended up giving this 4 stars, which is the same rating that I gave to both Jade City and Jade War. I did enjoy it. I eventually did feel attached to the characters. The whole time that I was reading this series, I just felt like there was something missing. And it kind of goes back to Jade City when I was really loving the first half of the book and then like something happened and I just felt like things kind of went downhill. I think I will be doing a review of Jade War and Jade Legacy soon, so I'll talk more about that then, but I do overall think that the ending was satisfying. The book definitely evoked feelings, and I gotta give it credit for that. So I'm definitely interested to see what more people thought about this, and I think I'm also gonna pick up the novella that she has coming out in April. The next book that I read was Legendborn. Finally, I know a lot of people have been waiting for me to read this, and if all goes well, my next video will be a full review of Legendborn because I have a lot of thoughts and we need to have a conversation about some things. Okay. In this, we're following Bree, who is in an early college program at UNC Chapel Hill, and while she's there, she sees some things that she's not supposed to see and gets wrapped up in this secret society. So I ended up giving this 3.75 stars, and I definitely see why people really love it. I also see why some people struggle with it, maybe hate it, or just felt a little blindsided by some of the events that happen here, and I will talk about all of that in my review. I will say that I was reading this at the same time as I was reading something else, and I was more interested in this, and I do think that I will pick up the second book purely out of curiosity. There are some characters in here that I do not give a flying fuck about, and y'all are simping over them, and I don't get it, but we'll talk about that in my review, okay? But 3.75 stars, and I will be reading Bloodmarked. The last book that I read this month was The Toll by Neil Shusterman. This is the finale in the Arc of the Scythe trilogy. I buddy read this with Robin and Dasha. I liked it, but I gave this 3.5 stars, where I gave both Scythe and Thunderhead 4.75, I think. For me, this one was just kind of slow and not as exciting, but Like, the ending of Scythe was wild. The ending of Thunderhead was insane. So I just felt like this one was really slow. And typically I really enjoy multiple perspectives and, like, you know, bouncing back and forth between different people and everything. And for me, I was kind of just like, why are we spending so much time with these people? I want to know what's happening over here. I also just wasn't really attaching to any of the characters too, so maybe that was it. But in this trilogy, in the first book, we're following 2 apprentices for a senior scythe, and scythes are people where in this world sickness and disease no longer exist, so scythes go around and glean people as a form of population control. There are some sort of rivalries and political intrigue and just different things happening within the society that I found really interesting. I really enjoyed the first 2 books, but this one just fell a little flat for me. However, I will say that I did find the ending satisfying with the way, well, I did find the ending satisfying for the most part. There were a couple things where I was like, I don't know about that, but overall I thought it was pretty good. I think I will be doing a joint review of that series as well. So those are all the books that I read in February. Let me know if you have read any of these or if they are on your TBR. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.